topic today is Business Model Canvas Customer Relationship. We'll talk about what options you typically have in terms of customer relationship, why it's important, and very importantly then talk about how it interconnects with every other part of your business model from the value proposition right on down. Hi, I'm Steve Morris, and I use this StartupSOS channel to provide practical how-to advice for first-time entrepreneurs. So today's topic, Business Model Canvas, Customer Relationship. So customer relationship, it's obviously important. You want to acquire customers, retain them, you want to upsell them, and of course, you'd like referrals to new customers. None of that will happen without a positive customer relationship. But you have some decisions to make on really what type of relationship you want to develop. And the customer has some expectations on what kind of a relationship they expect to have when they're purchasing the kind of product or service that you're providing. So it's not just what you want, it's also what the customer expects of you. And that's what you'll have to explore in the customer discovery process. But you have to start somewhere. So let's start by talking about possible approaches to customer relationship so that you can develop your hypotheses in your canvas around customer relationship. So there's quite a range of potential relationships that companies develop with customers. On the one end of the scale, there's more of a transactional kind of approach. Walk up to a kiosk, press some buttons, get what you wanted, and walk away. Very little customer relationship involved. One step above that might be a self-service kind of approach. Say a website where you provide all kinds of functionality, perhaps a catalog and user reviews, and make it easy to provide you with an order for a product. Well, that's a little bit more of a customer relationship, but obviously not a face-to-face relationship. Then, of course, you can go all the way to very dedicated personal assistance, where it's in-person, face-to-face, and somebody's actually helping the customer through the entire sales process. A very much more intimate type of customer relationship. Now, there are other approaches to relationship too, other aspects of relationship. Some customers may be looking for community type relationship. In other words, perhaps some online forum where they can interact with other customers so that they can share ideas and share insights as to how your product can best be used. And then, of course, there's always the idea of co-creation, where literally, if not the product, at least maybe the customer experience is being co-created by both the company and the users. One example of that might be, say, YouTube. YouTube provides the platform. It's people who actually provide the content. Certainly a lot of co-creation going on there. So a lot of different options for how you might develop a relationship with a customer and help customers develop relationships amongst themselves. So again, the approach you choose to customer relationship strategy is important because it's critical for helping you acquire, retain, sell up, and then, of course, get references. But more than that, it's important because it's a very core piece of your business model. Consider all of the implications you have to think about for your customer relationship. On the one hand, you have to understand how the customer wants to buy. What kind of a buying experience would they like to have? And it's important to deliver that experience or to convince them that you're going to deliver a better experience. But let's use a book example. Let's say you're selling books, and you could sell through bookstores or you could sell through online. Some people actually prefer to buy books in bookstores. It has a different ambiance. It has various benefits. Other people really like the idea of buying books online, powerful search capability, read customer reviews, very convenient, do it from home. A lot of advantages there too. And it could be that you'll have customers that like one approach and not the other. What does that sound like? That sounds like part of the value proposition you're delivering. You're delivering not just books, you're delivering a customer experience. And do your customers want that experience to be a brick and mortar bookstore or an online purchasing process? Depending on what it is, well, you're going to have a different value proposition for the customer. And again, if these are different customers that prefer the two channels, you just ran across a new segmentation strategy. Customers that prefer this and customers that prefer that. Well, okay, so far we've touched on the customer segments part of our business model and the value proposition, but now there's more. What about the channel strategy? The channel strategy, and we'll get to that in the next video, but it's basically how you're going to market, sell, and then support after the sale your customers. Well, that's literally the way you're reaching out to customers. It is literally the way that you're going to develop customer relationships is through your channel strategy. So the channel strategy will vary depending on what your customer relationship goal is. So there's one implication. Now, if your channel strategy is going to change because of your customer relationship strategy. And again, in our example, say online book sales versus brick and mortar book sales, well, that has a huge impact on your partnering strategy. If you're going to sell online, you better partner with online book sites. If you're going to sell through stores, you'll have to work through an entirely different channel. But the changes keep coming. Now, there'll be a difference in cost structure. It's almost certainly a different expense for you to reach out and partner with a bunch of brick and mortar bookstores versus probably a relatively small number of online bookstores. And on the revenue side, there'll be a difference. The discounts that you'll have to give to sell through an online channel are probably going to be different than the discounts you'll have to sell to go through a brick and mortar channel. So, boy, we've touched most of the parts of the canvas now. It isn't a big leap to say that your key resources and your key activities will be a bit different too, depending on which channel you use and which customer relationship you're going for. So customer relationship is very, very central to your business model. In fact, it literally can be your core innovation. One could argue that that's essentially what Amazon did. Amazon reinvented a new customer experience for buying books early on, their first market focus. As opposed to going to a brick and mortar store, you could buy books more conveniently now at home. And yeah, there was some technology behind making that happen, and there was some impressive logistics they had to put in place to make that happen. But at the core of the innovation was they were offering a different customer experience. So really, customer relationship and customer experience, which would be part of the value proposition, definitely can be part of your core innovation. So customer relationship, not a trivial thing, a good thing to think through pretty carefully and think through how it affects the other parts of your canvas. So I hope that added a little light as opposed to adding too much confusion. Quick summary, there are a lot of different approaches, right, to customer relationship, ranging from arm's length, like a transactional approach, to a much more hands-on, dedicated personal assistance, community-based relationship, co-creation relationship, a lot of different approaches. And a lot of different impact potentially on the rest of your business model, your distribution channels, cost, revenue, and so forth. So your challenge now is to think through what is your customer relation set of hypotheses. What do you believe is the customer relationship you want to develop so that you can go test that with customers? And think through what are the implications for the other aspects of your business model. And of course, we can talk about that more as we get to the different sections of the model in the follow-on videos. So that's it for this video on Business Model Canvas Customer Relationship. If you have any questions about this, please leave those questions in a comment and I'll certainly try to answer them. If this was helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with others that might benefit. And if you haven't yet, please click the subscribe button. And once you click that, you can click the little bell icon so you'll get reminded of our next videos coming up in this series as we march through the rest of the canvas. The playlist we're building you can link to right below me. That's it for now. Thank you very much for watching.